And hello and welcome everybody to another wonderful episode of Canuckleheads, an early edition of Canuckleheads this week. We have a special guest joining us right now, our Supreme Canucklehead Harima. Welcome.
How's it going, everyone?
And a little bit later, so Drexel is running on black time like he normally does. So, he's gonna show up. He says he's gonna be a little bit late, so he'll be in the next little bit here. But we're gonna get him up to speed on the entire situation. We have a lot to talk about today. We have a lot to talk about, and I want to get Drexel's reactions on everything that has been going down. I can't wait. Cannot wait. But I'm hoping everybody in the chat has been going well. We're kind of in Nick's time slot right now. I feel like in such a weird position that we're like taking the Ricada time slot, the coveted overnight.
I'm sure he won't mind sharing the audience.
I think he likes his day streams. I don't know. I think he appreciates his day streams. And there's Ken. Good to see you, Ken. Big black couch. Just get your BBC right here. Only tree fitty a turn. There you go. Drex, the return of Drex.
How's it going, Ken?
Yes. Drexel should be here very shortly. We told him that we would fluff the audience for him, so get nice and prepared. But to give you a rundown of what we're exactly going to be talking about today, because there's some stuff that happened. I don't know if you guys noticed this past week or something. There's some stuff that has happened on the internet and in real life. There's a little thing called Anime Matsuri that happened. Did anybody go to Anime Matsuri? Hammer, did you get it? Did you get to go to Anime Matsuri this year?
No, I wish I could. I was not able to grace Anime Matsuri with my presence.
You weren't able to get there, unfortunately.
No. Perhaps next year.
Perhaps next year. Yeah, so we had some stuff happening past couple of weeks. And some people were very, very upset with Anime Matsuri. So we're going to talk a bit about that. One person in particular had more of an opinion to say of it than anybody else, though. You live too far away to travel for work. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Power K Greg went on Saturday. Matsuri was a blast, says Moodcap.
Oh yeah, I saw him. He actually streamed live.
Hey,
that was awesome.
Let's go. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. There's one person that rhymes with Amouranth that had a very big news announcement to say. We're going to cover that too as soon as Drexel comes here. Clearly, Wood doesn't absolutely have another alternate reason to get on a soapbox. Not at all. You wanted to go, but between work and family stuff wasn't possible this year. I wish I could have gone. It would have cost me like probably $2,000 that I didn't have to go. So, unfortunately, I couldn't make it this year. Stream for like 12 minutes, Boomer City. Yeah, it's. I would love to go to Anime Matsuri. It's just the travel and everything else in between. It really is a fucking difficult trip to make, from all the way up here in Canada, unfortunately. One day, hopefully. One day I'll be an important enough streamer, an important enough YouTuber to be included on YouTube Bro. Which apparently a lot of people got like really bent out of shape that Geeks and Gamers and Yellow Flash and all of them got their own booth at the Anime Con.
Yes. How predictable.
How predictable. Pretty funny considering like that's entirely what Con Bravo is. Con Bravo is literally like, so locally here, guys, for you who don't know, Con Bravo is another convention in Ontario that is medium-sized, I would say. Classify as medium-sized convention. They got big by inviting pretty much all the YouTuber who's on the internet. They had JonTron, they've had Markiplier, they've had everybody. You know Con Bravo, Lady Phoenix? Yeah, they were the YouTube convention. So it's funny that there's people out here throwing shade and shitting on people for oh, thank you so much, Carice, for the subscription on the channel. For people like going and holding a YouTube convention. It's Anime Matsuri, but they do a lot more than just Anime Matsuri. That's part of it.
Yes.
That's part of it.
Yes, and it's and their ever growing expansion of services and products
Oh
they
my
offer.
goodness. Can we talk so before we get Drexel on here to black pill the entire audience. Hello, Sam Rogers, long time no see.
Wait. Are we talking? One kind of black pill or the other? Now we have two different types of black
One
pill
very
here.
long and thick black pill. Before we get Drexel on here, he should be showing up fairly soon. Let's talk a little bit about the studio, right? Because there's a lot of really important, smart, very, very beautiful, not large at all, or bulbous people on the internet that have an opinion about Anime Matsuri and its studio. And veiny, god damn it, Greg.
We need
emotional
damage.
So, Anime Matsuri revealed Anime Matsuri Studios that is going to be dubbing and subbing. That's very interesting too. They're going to be subtitling and releasing dubs of some very very interesting and very cool projects that have never been dubbed or subbed before, as far as I understand. They've never made it over for Western audiences to take in. Don't forget the reveal that Drunk 3PO was Yellow Flash all along. Yes, the random face reveals,
Dude,
like the Scooby-Doo face reveals on Twitter was just fantastic.
For 15 minutes, I thought Drunk 3PO was fucking Yellow Flash. And I'm thinking, oh, so that's what he looked like. And then I find like a half hour later, him posting, not Yellow Flash. Well, fuck me running. Thanks, asshole.
I loved the Scooby-Doo face reveals. That was just so funny. That was great. But we're actually going to be getting quality subs and quality dubs from Anime Matsuri Studios. They're going to be trying to translate it as close to the original as possible, from what I'm understanding. And they're going to be casting not on ego but by skill. Imagine that. Imagine casting people based on their ability rather than their ability to be a fat, bulbous, useless piece of garbage on the internet.
Merit over networking, ladies and gentlemen.
Imagine that. So I'm excited to see what this studio is able to do. I'm excited for that. And I expect growing pains, obviously. It's a new studio. It's got a lot of stuff to do. It's brand freaking new. It's like they literally just built it.
Of course.
No casting couch included, exactly.
It's got a lot to prove.
There's a lot to prove.
There's no getting around that, ladies and gentlemen.
No. The funny part is that you have so all these people that were internet lawyers then suddenly turned into internet doctors and then suddenly turned into internet convention runners have now suddenly turned into internet dubbing studio managers. And they know everything there is to know about dubbing studios now because they read something on Reddit. So they obviously know that Anime Matsuri apparently not having the distribution rights yet apparently. Because they're not immediately Sony. Stacy saying hi to you, Harima, in the chat.
How's it going, Stacy? Hope you're doing well.
And they have legendary voice actors working for it right now. So
yeah, man.
Because they're not immediately Sony Pictures, and they don't immediately have the exclusive digital distribution rights that Sony has, this means apparently that they're a failure of a studio even before they started.
Oh no, it's even more. They don't even think it's a legitimate thing because it's a lot like what Eric July says. It's all about them maintaining the grasp on the legitimacy of the enterprise that they're in.
Exactly.
So now that we are seeing the semblance of actual competition, they're just downplaying it in an effort to delegitimize their efforts.
Absolutely.
And that's where I come along with the idea of if you enjoy their work, if you enjoy their product, you should support it by buying it.
I agree.
So that way, they have the strength to stand up and compete with the ever-growing monopoly that is Sony.
It's true.
You heard about them buying that one that one merchandise site, right?
They did buy another. Was it merchandise?
No, I think
Or was
the
it
name
another?
is.
Was it another like independent studio thing?
No,
Like, Crunchyroll absorbed another thing.
It's a product distributor. It's
Okay.
for merch. I think it's called Right to Stuff or something like that.
Yes, that's what I heard. Yeah.
And the one thing that they're changing is they're no longer going to be offering the ecchi and 18 plus stuff products that they used to sell.
I heard that, which is hilarious, considering most of the more popular stuff on the Funimation side of things was in that realm of existence, right?
Yep. We can't forget things like Valkyrie Drive or Ikitosen, God forbid, or for limited time, Interspecies Reviewers.
Interspecies Reviewers, yes. No more, by the way. No more. That is gone. So now you have almost a renaissance happening. A panty and stocking, goodbye. That's gone. You almost have a renaissance of sorts happening now, right? Because now you have Sony, who's completely shooting themselves in the foot, snapping up every single possible thing that they can to starve out Anime Matsuri Studios. I can just imagine how threatened they are by them right now. The fact that Anime Matsuri Studios has barely even taken off, and Sony is running out and trying to throw money at anything at all to try and freeze them out of the market, is hilarious to me. Because if anything of what Anime Matsuri and the people behind this studio has shown, they're stepping around you, Sony. they don't care about doing that dance with you anymore. They are finding their own way to do it now, and that should scare you, because they're going to find their own distribution. They're going to go directly to Japan. They're going to start getting titles that you should have gotten for Crunchyroll, and they're going to start doing it better than you. They're going to start doing it better than you, which they already have, but they've already done it better, I should say. Which I can imagine the discussions happening in Sony headquarters right now about this entire situation. And it all stems back, so this is the funniest part, right? You look at it, it all stems back to the same group of little weirdos that gatekeep Funimation that is causing this situation. If it wasn't for that little Funimation convention mafia and voice actor mafia, they wouldn't be in this situation right now. Sony would be laughing all the way to the bank with no competition.
Absolutely. But arrogance, unfortunately, is what allows everyone else, notably the underdogs, to step up to the plate and pose a threat.
Absolutely. And so now we're seeing rival things popping up. And I'm hopeful this is something that's going to last a very long time. It has a lot of really good driving force, a lot of good star power behind it. I think there's a lot more people that will get on board with this once they figure out that once they step out from the Crunchyroll aspect of things and say, you know what, there is life after Crunchyroll. There is life after Sony. It'll be very interesting.
The funny thing is, Sony itself was the very thing that resulted from Nintendo's incompetence.
Right.
Remember,
right?
Since their deal with Sony to create an add-on for the Super Nintendo, once that deal fell through, Nintendo didn't think that they would be threatened by another company, and lo and behold, they created the literal competition that would rival them for the next 2 decades.
Exactly.
So the one thing that happens is that hubris ultimately ends up being the poison that contributes to your downfall.
Absolutely. And now we're seeing it. Oh, and by the way, Sony, in case you and some random intern are watching, Because it's funny to say, like, I'm literally a nobody on YouTube. I don't even get an invite to Anime Matsuri because I'm literally not even on the list of notable YouTubers.
Which is insane.
Yet somehow, I still have people at Funimation. I'm going to call them Funimation forever. People at Funimation watching me. People on Twitter, that have way more stuff to do than watch a nobody on YouTube. They're watching me. I'm apparently threatening conventions around the area. There's U.S. conventions that tune in to see what I have to say about them. So apparently I carry some water somewhere. But let me just say this, guys. If you guys are wiping the slate clean from all of the ecchi and 18 plus and all of the, and you want to go full Puritan white flame on your Crunchy brand, your Crunchyroll brand, it would be a real shame if a certain voice reel blooper set came out of your top voice actors dropping slurs and making really crude remarks about sodomizing underage individuals, etc. So it'd be a real shame if that came out. It'd be a real shame if that started floating out now at the peak of you trying to show that you are the pinnacle of purity in the anime world. So I don't know.
Crunchyroll in itself is in itself a contradiction. It originally began as a pirating site to behold, and if you've ever been to a pirating site like Crunchyroll in its older days, it was filled with adult ads.
Absolutely,
all over the place. So those of us who know already know. And there's nothing squeaky clean about Crunchyroll. No matter how many times they try to wash themselves of all the filth and tentacle goo that they apparently think they're infected with.
Let me see if I can play this.
Oh, by all means, please do.
Time is near, and I've never been with a man before.
I want to see how Mr. Satan decides to get extra confident with the size of his man rod.
Right? You might not be able to hear this, Harima.
Yeah,
it might just be playing in the...
Right there.
Yeah, I have mine mute. I'm
that feels so...
But I'll still laugh.
Mr. Popo.
I do my best, but Mr. Popo does not fuck.
You must, Popo. It is for me. Whoa! What's wrong? Nothing, Yamcha. It's nothing. Mr. Popo and I have a special relationship. Oh, my Popo knows how to handle balls. He collected all the balls last time. No way! Let me have some of that. It's my ointment. I need it. I need it for Piccolo.
Kami, what's going on here?
I had to use the sacred ointment.
Apply the sacred ointment on me.
No way! I need some!
Bend over, Yamcha.
No! It can't be! Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, more of that.
No!
Bend over.
That sounds like
Stop it! Bulma!
quality Crunchyroll
Bulma!
content
Think
right
of
here.
Bulma. I must think of Bulma. No. Release yourself, Yamcha. It is the right...
I will link this video in the description because I'm not going to play the full thing because it goes on for quite a while. And we should be getting Drexel in the stream pretty soon. But they're using official sound effects, and that's actually Chris Sabat voicing every one of those, by the way. That is Chris Sabat doing every single one of his...
The Renaissance Man. Apparently, the Renaissance includes hentai.
Oh god, I have to send Drexel the code through another platform because he boomered it.
But of course he did.
Of course. Mr. Popo. Yeah, exactly. We have Sean Schemmel using the homophobic slur, the F slur, calling his son such a thing. Yeah, it's there's some gems in there, and this is coming from Crunchyroll employees, guys. Crunchyroll employees that are apparently trying to wrap themselves in the well, that's the YouTube link. Oops. Drape themselves in this air of false Puritan pride. I'm not entirely sure what to call it.
No, it's just basic hubris. That's all that it is.
Basic hubris.
Because they hide under the excuse that, oh, this has been out for years. It's like on DVDs and stuff. That's nothing new. Whore shit.
Like you said in the OCA chat earlier, your life's goal is to get a pretty good therapist. Is to be a pretty good therapist and have a bunch of voice acting credits and an extremely lewd
hentai. My time is
hentai.
near, and I've never been with a man before.
Oh my god, why is it playing
Apply
again?
the sacred ointment.
I mean, shit. There's nothing wrong with having your credits in those particular things. I mean, you're not actually fucking doing it. I mean, I would have a lot of questions as to why you would decide to perform such acts when you're only needing to voice it. Is that how you go for authenticity?
I'm in that zone of the internet where I don't know where the audio is playing.
Yamcha. It's nothing. Mr. Popo and I have a
I don't know what's going
relationship. Oh, my Popo,
I can't stop
how to
it.
handle balls. He collected
Oh, God,
all
I
the
have to
balls
minimize
last
everything. I
time.
have to find out where this is playing.
Wait! Let me have some of that. It's my ointment. I need it. I need it for Piccolo.
Oh, it's playing on my playing on my Twitter. That's why. Okay, there we go. That was like that moment of like early 2000s internet or like early 1995 internet where it's like, where's the fucking music playing from?
You think you would remember and have a little more experience with such an older format. I think we just boomered up the boomer even harder than fucking Drexel at this point.
Well, speaking of boomers, we got Drexel.
Hey, it's the host with the most.
What is up?
What is up, Drexel?
Man,
what is up? How are you? I know you're super tired.
Well,
I
look like a zombie because I am a zombie. So I'm on, what am I on? 16-hour days now, 18-hour days.
Fucking Christ.
Back to back to back to back. Yeah, bad life choice. Trust me.
Oh my goodness, bad life choices. Well,
that's why
we're here to talk about that today.
Well, so I talked to Chris. I'm like, oh God, Chris, it would be great if we could do a show on Thursday. It's like, oh, Thursday doesn't work, but Friday. It's like, why Friday? Like, why Friday? If you'd have just said like, oh, Thursday's great, I've been like, yes.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
we're here. I worked on Thursday. Unfortunately.
What time do you normally get off?
I normally get home about 11:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
So, like, dumb.
Yeah. So similar to me. Yeah, because I got off. Well, actually, I don't work nights anymore. So I work during the day, but every now and then people are like, Drex, we need your help. So it's like, well, I guess I can, be there literally all day. So the next thing you know what? I'll tell you what kills you. It's the turnaround, right?
It is, yeah.
Because Chris, when so think of it like this. I'll come on here, chill with you guys for a bit, right? Then like 12:30 will come. It's like, all right, let me hop off so I can go shower up, get myself ready. Then your body has to calm itself down, right?
Yep, exactly.
All of a sudden it's 1:30, right?
Yep.
And that alarm goes off at 6:10 a.m.
Yep.
It's just like, but by the time you finally get to get to sleep, you're like, oh, just and the alarm goes off. You're like, wait, what?
Yep.
You literally said it in your mind. It feels like you went to sleep for 30 minutes. You're like, wait, what? Shit.
Exactly.
Worst feeling in the world.
I'm right there with you, except about 30 minutes earlier, and then I have about a 2-hour commute to work.
Oh, yeah. At least I don't have that. Yeah, my commute's 20 minutes.
That's not.
Well, you know what though? Your situation is why the Switch took over Japan, right? Because that was their whole MO was that they were like, "Yo, we need a console that is portable," right?
Absolutely.
I've heard about some of these Japanese people's commute to and from work, right?
Yeah.
It's Chris, could you imagine?
It's insane.
2+ hours, just for work.
Yeah, that's how the Game & Watch ended up being the thing.
Yeah.
Gunpei
Steam
Yokoi
Deck?
was looking at a calculator, somebody playing with it. He's like, people work all the damn time. They gotta travel through trains and shit, and all they're doing is nothing while waiting. So we gotta figure something out, and that's ended up how the Game & Watch came to be.
I remember reading about Gunpei, and one of the things I found fascinating was that it's exactly what you said, right? Because think about it. All of us could just be on a subway or wherever, right? Japan or anywhere else. And we're just riding, right? You're just another person on the subway. Especially now because, let's be honest, isn't this what everyone does now?
It's true.
Right?
That's what they
because
do.
Because everyone's on their phone. But but back in the day, you either sat there and just like stared into space, or maybe you were reading something, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine what it takes for you to like, just, you're sitting on the train, you go like this. Wait a minute. Everyone's just sitting here. Like, I can make money off them sitting here. Like, because that very idea was actually pretty foreign, right? I mean, there was nothing on the market. Like, I mean, you think about it like this. You remember what a road trip was like as a kid, right?
Oh,
it
God,
sucked.
yeah.
It was literal torture, right?
Damn
if
right.
you're a kid now, are road trips really that bad? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have everything at your disposal. I wish we had the internet. I wish we had a Switch. I wish we had, just anything, tablets. Like, you were in that, like, you guys remember the original Game Boy, right?
Oh, yeah.
4 batteries.
OG.
It wasn't like those batteries lasted long. Oh, don't forget, because of the sunlight, right, as it would refract, you had to be in the perfect angle.
At night.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, please don't.
Yeah.
So like you have all these disadvantages, right? And you were still trying to make do. Imagine what it's like. Like I said, if you could take like that same like basic principle and you just do like a little space-time continuum warp, and you had the stuff that's available now, right?
That'd be crazy.
You'd be sitting there like, wait a minute, oh my, I don't mind road trips anymore. Like, you could even get along with your siblings now, for the first time ever. It's like, this ain't so bad.
Everyone's got a screen in front of them now.
Right?
Oh, sweet. I can play Donkey Kong Country with my hands.
Right? Dude, like, that would have, I don't think people understand what that would have done. Like, if we would have like a true hybrid console back then. Because, I mean, the Game Boy was the best you could get, right? The Sega Game Gear just was not a good console, right?
Yeah, it was very clunky.
Very clunky.
Didn't last very long.
It drained batteries faster than a vibrator.
Easily. Well, here's what's crazy. I was actually at the National Video Game Museum in Frisco, Texas, right? And I went back and I'm sitting there like looking at these old game consoles, right? Because it has literally everything. I remember the Game Gear being big. Just you guys remember the Atari Lynx? Remember that was Atari's
Atari Lynx
thing.
Oh my fucking God!
You look at these things. I'm gonna tell you, this is what stood out the most. The bezel to screen ratio stood out to me. You had, hold on, fucking wait, where's something making proper? Okay, this is how much screen you had, right? This is how much bezel you had. Seriously, go pull up. This is no lie, man. Pull up a picture of a Game Gear or like a
Game
Sega
Gear was
Nomad.
tiny. Yeah.
Here's the thing. The screen. Here's the thing. It was okay. The machine itself was very large,
massive.
right? It was this big, right?
Yeah.
But the actual screen you played on was like 2 inches.
Yeah.
You're like, why do I have all this?
Boy.
It wasn't even just that. The backlight was so awful.
Awful.
You could hardly fucking see the damn game you're playing.
It was so bad.
What the fuck was even the point?
In the Game Gear used 6 batteries, not 4. Yeah. And if you recall back then, battery packs came in 8. No. It was 4, 8, and 12 is what battery packs came in back then. Unless you got like one of the, you remember when your dad would get like the cheap set of like, it'd be like a 64 pack of some cheap ass like Rayovac.
Oh hell no! I used to get the cheap $1 Panasonic 4-pack battery.
Oh yeah, the Pana. That was the other one, the Panasonic. Do you remember like you put those in and okay, so the Game Boy when you had full power, it was green, right? So it was green. You're like, yes, Tetris. Click, play. No lie, not even 30 minutes. You're like, orange.
Yep.
You're like, in your mind, you're like, wait, did I just put these in? It went from full charge, like green light on your Game Boy, to orange light.
Yep.
Within 32 an hour, depending on if you had sound on or something.
Exactly. You gotta turn the sound right down.
Right now, remember the little rotate, little knob?
Yeah.
You slid it. God,
Oh
dude,
my
what
God.
we grew up in a great time.
We did.
I remember also swapping the dead batteries I had on my Game Boy
Yes.
with the TV remote. And whenever my mom found out about that, she would be livid.
Oh, that was a
Did you
huge
change
deal.
the batteries off the remote
Yep.
again?
Well, because you remember when batteries start to go dead in TV remotes, the TV remote functions like improperly because it doesn't not work. It's like turn it on and you're like, okay, volume. What the hell? The fuck? And then you're like, channel, and it clicks. You know, like that was weird. Volume, nothing.
Or you go for a direct channel by pressing the buttons.
It won't work.
The button I pressed.
It's not the button. You try to like 03, and it just wouldn't be input, and you're like, dude, what is it? And then all of a sudden, you're like, someone changed these damn batteries. Someone changed the batteries. And sure, in the I remember that was when once I became a teenager and I actually had money, I upgraded to lithium batteries, right? And that was mind blowing. You know, people forget this was like, you know, in the CD era where you had the CD players that had ESP, and once you turn that on, it just drained your batteries, right?
Yeah.
I mean, ESP would just eat through a battery. I remember turning it on and being like, man, you know, this kind of sucks. I was that kid. Like I said, I have been the dude who's had headphones on since I was, I want to say 12 or 13. I have not. You'll never see me like out in public without headphones on, right? Since then. And I remember listening to music or whatever, walking around. And when I put these in there, right, these lithium batteries, the first thing you know is that they have no weight to them, right?
Yep.
You check them out of the pack, like, what the
They're
hell? They're like weightless. And I remember being like, because they cost so much more. I'm thinking like, God damn. And the dude, it was a place called I think it was Batteries Plus, I think it was the name of the store. And I put them in, and I remember how like they lasted me damn near that week. And I was like, this is incredible. But I was like, but damn man, I think they were like $6 at the time for like a 2 or 4 pack, like $6 or $8. I was like, this ain't gonna work. Cress, I got myself the greatest gift ever. For some reason, I don't know how it took me this long to find out, I got rechargeable batteries.
Rechargeable batteries.
That was a huge deal back then.
Yep.
Huge deal.
That was a big deal.
Oh, God. It changed my whole life, man.
Yep.
Because you remember how expensive batteries got, man. I mean, you're buying them every week.
I think the only thing I've ever seen that was even close to rechargeable was when the Game Boy used to offer their own version of rechargeable batteries.
Yep. It looked like the Wii's battery pack. You guys remember when the Wii remote? There was it had like its own little pack that, you know, you took off the back panel and you slid it in. It was like, chick, and you click it. You're like, oh, this is great.
And the best part about that is if you open it up, it's just regular batteries.
Yeah, it was a white outer shell.
It's a white outer shell.
My God.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's actually like one of the first things you notice. You're like, what is this thing? You look at it, you're like, wait a minute. You're like, yeah, they got me. They got me. But
Future advanced Wii technology.
Well, and that's the beauty of it, right? Is that you know that it's this proprietary garbage because like it's not about the battery size, right? It's about does it fit in this exact slot on your remote?
Yeah.
We made it so only you have to come to us. It's basically what a drug dealer does, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to come buy it from me.
You got to buy it from me. Exactly.
I'm saying, man, these companies are evil. And I love that they're evil.
We grew up in the right time. And that makes me very sad for the people that are growing up now.
Well, you know what it is? I think here's the reason why I think we all kind of like we look back at that time and kind of smile with like these like wistful eyes. Like we can acknowledge that certain things were terrible, right?
Yeah,
like
of course.
You know, I mean, we all remember waiting for the internet to come on with dial-up,
Absolutely.
Right? Now, it sounds bad in your head. Like,
stuffing your computer with a pillow so your parents don't hear you dialing up.
Oh God, that sound. Like, as bad as that is, though, right? There's a flip side to it. Because we didn't have instant gratification, right? We all had the delayed gratification. Because of it, everything that we sought meant more. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes.
Everything. Like because
everything.
You couldn't. I mean, do you guys remember looking for movies? Remember that?
Oh, that was impossible.
Like, hey, hurry, you want to go see a movie, man? Yeah, hold up.
Yeah.
Let's go find the paper.
Yeah. See what's in. We have to call the
See?
movie theater and listen to the movie.
Let's
phone.
call the God, movie phone when it was an actual. It wasn't a website. It was an actual
A phone
number, and you called movie phone. And you went like this.
You have to
Okay, I'm
wait
just
for
gonna
the movie number.
You waited to hear the start times
Yeah.
for your. But here's the thing, though. You appreciate it more. You remember you had to go stand in line.
Exactly.
And because I think everything that we're discussing, I think rolls right into the topic of Chris Chan, right?
Oh yes.
Because
Oh Jesus.
if you think about it, though, okay, everything that we did back then, it ties into social interaction in the real world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything was real. Like, look, maybe we got some differences, right? It's a lot easier to work out differences because vocal inflection, body language, all that, because we're physically here, right?
Absolutely.
In the real
basically
world.
the last generation we were the generation in between the old and the new when it came to tech.
Yep.
We were able to appreciate both aspects of it. I think that's why, in particular, like the other day, I was reminiscing on Disney's Recess
That's such a
because
good show.
it was a fantastic show. It was very relatable, but it also got me to realize that that's an era that, at least in particular for my generation, which was right around the 90s, that's not something that later generations are going to be able to relate to anymore. Just
No.
because technology has become so dominant in our lives that it's going to seem almost outworldly to them if you
look
were able to show
You look
that.
at the school window at recess, like back in our day. Like you see the kids playing like kickball, tag, running around. What do you look at now? You see everyone on their phone. They're just like they got their tablets. They're comparing.
It's sad. Well,
The whole world is
So warped.
hyper focused on technology, whereas we had the beauty of both being able to experience the games that our parents and grandparents could enjoy, as well as enjoy things like trading card games,
Yeah.
portable video games like the Game Boy and the Game Gear. That we had such a neat little balance that we could appreciate both aspects.
Mm-hmm.
I think the balance is that we use it as a tool, not the center point, right? Not the centerpiece of our life. Because,
Exactly.
I'm a gamer, right? But one thing that offends me deeply is when people have this whole thing where they, you hear these people going like, the problem with the world is, these kids are just sitting playing video games. And I'm like, bro, we played games just like kids play games now. The difference
Exactly.
is we had a natural balance of, because let's face it, everybody has gone through that gaming binge, right? Where you just binge, right? You're trying to beat something, so you just binge.
Binge it.
But when you were done binging, like I said, when you finally beat Mega Man, right? You finally got past the Red Devil. You end up beating Dr. Wily.
Yeah.
But once you beat him and you basked in that moment, you're like, oh, okay, now let's go outside. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Let's
Yeah.
go out.
You,
Let's
like
go
no
for
one
a
had to
bike
tell
ride.
you. You just naturally had that sense of like accomplishment. Like, all right, man, we finally did it. Let's go out and do something. But so this notion that like kids are, it's all about the video games. I go, dude, if video games stopped existing tomorrow, right? You Thanos snap them out of existence. Well, kids would just be sitting there looking at TikTok videos all day.
Exactly.
I mean, what else are they doing online, right?
Yep. It's so crazy. Like you look at what there was. The internet brought so much to our fingertips. Now you can literally, as a 13 or 14-year-old, log into Twitch, and you have way more tits in your face than I've ever had in my life.
Fucking Christ.
And it's
You used to have
front
to
and
work for
center.
titties. You had to work for titties. Like,
You had to work
this
for
is-
titties.
Those people who didn't grow up in the 80s and 90s, the amount of work you had to do for some titties. Like, this is back when rental stores, there was no guarantee that you had the cool person at the rental store who didn't care
Right.
what rating the movie was. But you could get a Karen, right?
Yeah.
This is a rated R movie. You're clearly not this age, so we're not going to rent it to
We're
you.
not
You're
going to
like,
rent it to you.
all you wanted to do was see Cindy Crawford's tits in fair game, right? That's why you rented that god awful movie with a Baldwin,
Exactly.
right? Because this thing, Cress, the thing is though, the titties meant more.
They did.
Because you finally like think about it. You had I had buddies who had to go to like Schindler's, right? Everyone knew that one kid who was 18 who was morally flexible, right? And would buy you, whatever you need, like the kids who smoke cigarettes, they got him cigarettes. If you wanted booze, you got a 21-year-old who got you booze. If you wanted your porno shit, you went to him, right?
Exactly.
But by going to this person and getting it, like you had to go through so much to get it now because you can do this.
Done.
Oh, there it is. Now
It's
you've been
in
so
your face.
desensitized, and this kind of goes into like I said, when I look at someone like Chris Chan, right? Like I said, I was not a Chris Chan expert by any stretch of imagination, right?
Yeah.
I don't think
I
anyone
was peripherally aware.
wanted to be an expert of.
Yeah. Like, he's one. So he, she, whatever, because no one knows what Chris Chan's supposed to be.
I don't think Chris
identified
Chan
as.
knows.
I
Hey,
think
Chris Chan doesn't know. I mean, like the insanity just kept.
Cares.
Well, the thing about Chris is that it's like this. By the stories got crazy and crazy, like as you do that deep dive, like when someone's like, "Did you hear about this?" It's like, how is all of this from the same person, right? And then you realize, oh my god. So I had to do some research to find out what the hell a lolcow was, right? Because as an outsider, like here's the thing. This is what I tell people, Chris.
Yeah.
When you grow up in the real world, you can't
If
be
you
a
have no idea what the
lolcow.
internet shit is about.
Yeah, but you can't be a lolcow. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell me the real life, like the real world lolcow. You would struggle to find one, right? Because it's like, well,
Well, they're cartoon
can't really be
characters.
one.
Like,
Yeah,
they just- they
it's
don't
like you can't
exist
because
normally.
yeah, that's the thing. All of Chris Chan. This is one of my issues with Chris Chan. Everything that Chris Chan is a natural byproduct of the internet and what comes along with it, right? Which is trolls, people who are mentally broken, and they go to the internet seeking attention, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So if you've never had attention, and this kind of in Chris Chan also goes into whether you believe it's fame or infamy, internet fame versus
No, it's
real world
infamy.
fame.
Absolutely,
Yes.
infamy.
It's definitely infamy.
It's
Because this thing,
massive.
the people are laughing at you, Chris Chan. They're not laughing with you.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? They're like,
That's why I felt bad. Like the entire situation
It
that
is.
people have brought up before. And I'm like, I feel bad because I don't think that this is like, this is not something that this person has no ability to make a decision on their own. Like clearly, very, very clearly, this person lacks any sort of mental faculties to make a correct decision about their life. And and you have everybody on the internet judging them like they're a Harvard graduate that knows exactly what they're doing. And it's like,
well,
I felt bad about the
you know,
situation.
even something as simple as his mom's dementia, right?
Yeah.
And you look at, I witnessed some of her videos. She was like asking people to like buy like a blanket or quilt or something. Clearly, she wasn't in her right faculties, right?
No, and I think she had Alzheimer's.
She had because she had dementia or Alzheimer's.
Yeah, something like that.
This is the problem I have with that. When you have people who are taking advantage of elderly people, as bad as that is, the only thing worse is an audience that basically enables it. And like,
Yes.
because remember, from what I learned about Chris Chan, the audience was always trying to like basically get Chris Chan to be more outlandish. Like,
Exactly.
You guys know who that black kid is? He has a funny name. He's some YouTuber streamer guy. Young black kid, like I am something or whatever.
Sounds like just some guy, but maybe I'm mistaken.
It's not just some guy, but he's the one that lit his bedroom on fire with the Pikachu fireworks.
Oh, that one.
Went viral.
I heard about that.
You know
one,
what I'm talking about?
I know. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking
Oh,
about.
the
but
person
please
that
do
set
go
the
on.
fireworks off
No.
inside the room.
This dude took an L. Like he sits there and he's like this. Like I said, this kind of goes into like our culture.
I am Speed.
That's his name. I am Speed. Yep, that's the one. And
Thank you, Alexia.
well, his thing. So Harima, this is what he does. He's sitting in his room, right? He has a little Pikachu, and then he lights it, and you realize, oh shit, this is a firework, right? So here's a little Pikachu like
my
this,
God.
and Pikachu starts sparkling, right?
Oh no.
And then starts like moving because when all those fireworks are inside of something, it starts to like get unstable,
Oh
right?
my God. Yeah.
And it falls over. It's like spark. So his room got like basically like blown up Because now you have all these.
Wait, this happened inside the
It was
house?
inside his room.
Oh,
Yes, inside
it's
his house.
so bad. They show the fire department show up like the room looked like literally like someone went in with like a blowtorch or like with a flamethrower, just like this, whoosh. And the thing is though, is that this is a viral video, right? And everyone thinks like, Drex, the lulls. And I said, dude, I'm uncomfortable with this, right? And it's not because I'm just like some old guy. I said it basically boils down like this. Crest, this is what happened to Chris Chan.
Yeah.
You have to do something bigger, right?
Absolutely.
Do something more all the time. Because when you start doing like these crazy pranks or stunts for attention, for the lulls, whether it be for monetization, well, what happens? Do you know where you see this? You see this with OnlyFans chicks, right?
Yes.
Have you guys heard about what happens to OnlyFans chicks? They start off right,
Yep.
like, oh, I was doing foot pics, or
They start
I
off
just
like
did.
Belle Delphine, right?
Yep.
Doing the funny faces and the cute photos and the
Yep.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
what about that one dude, Tyrone, who just slaps everybody in the face and says, "I'm Tyrone, I'm gonna fuck your wife."
Oh yeah, dude
And
ended up
get
getting shot.
as a result.
Yeah.
You got shot. Yeah.
You got shot.
Yeah. And you can lose your life because think about it. This is what, in Chris Chan's case, losing your freedom, right?
Yeah.
Which in a sense is losing your life. But when someone goes, well, Drex, what is the root cause of this? Okay, it's twofold. On one hand, you have a broken, insecure, low self-esteem narcissist, which is what Chris Chan is, a pure narcissist. Chris Chan, I did some research, Chris.
Yeah.
Didn't Chris Chan go by some weird like goddess name? Like
Yes.
I'm the goddess of somethingville or something?
It was in Chris Chan's own world that they made up, like the Sauna.
Yeah, like some weird. And I'm like, okay, but once again, do you know how this happens? Because when we were talking earlier about being in the real world, do you guys remember the consequences of being in the real world and doing like weird shit that was too far out of bounds?
Oh yeah.
You people set you back in line. Like
Yep.
they didn't let you. And some people are like, Drex, that's horrible. They're trying to pigeonhole people. I go, no, you need a certain level of order because if you don't, you wind up with the
ridiculous.
Because think about it, Chris Chan is basically what happens when mental illness and narcissism go left unchecked, right?
Yes, exactly.
Chris Chan is the end result because as Chris Chan's antics got more and more outlandish, from what I hear, the audience is basically kind of like egging Chris Chan
They're
on,
egging
right?
it on. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
no.
fueling it, and they want more and they want more because this is a byproduct from the reality TV era, right?
It is.
When people don't understand that reality TV is actually scripted, it's just made to look like it's happening like off the cuff when it's not actually happening off the cuff.
Yep.
And these people are like, well, what if this happens? Oh, you should do this or you should do that. And people are making Chris Chan do this nonsense and go further.
This is how certain people get a particular reputation for because what they portray themselves within those shows or internet presence. You have, for example, Gordon Ramsay. Most people think he's just some enraged lunatic chef.
No.
But if you look at the airings of his actual shows, like in Britain, you find out that he's actually a much calmer, tamer guy.
He is.
And
he's really
what he
talented.
portrayed in the States.
Yeah.
Well, though, so Harima, you touched on something. What you're referring to is, and this is what I was telling people in my Discord, Chris, I call it avatar culture, right?
Yes.
So what happens is you become a persona, not you.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right? It's easy to be a persona when you don't use your real name or you use an anime avatar. And so you guys remember that movie Avatar? Yeah, right. Well, you guys remember in the movie Avatar, right?
Yeah.
The person who is back in the real world, right? In this case, it was a half paralyzed army vet, lives a different reality when they go into the body, right? The blue,
Exactly.
in this case, the blue man body, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when you try to reconcile those two halves, right? Because you're thinking to yourself like, oh yeah, this person's gonna be big and badass and a warrior. You're like, you're just some dweeb.
Some dude.
You're some dude, and that's what happens to this situation. Because I'm looking at Chris Chan, and it's like, I bet you if there was no camera on, if this was not the Chris Chan Truman Show, I want you guys to imagine this, right? There's no cameras, right?
Mhm.
So your life is not being documented. You have no fans. Where would Chris Chan be, Chris? What do you think?
Probably. That's a tough one. I mean, it wouldn't have escalated this far. I don't think. In the least.
Oh, absolutely not.
There's no
Here's the
way.
thing. Chris Chan, when you're in this situation where you
It's a
don't have all
feedback
these
loop.
things, it is. It's like, okay, but when you take the feedback loop away, right? Do you know what you're left with? This is what you're left with. Hurry up, go get a damn job.
Exactly.
Right? Because think about it, without drawing your little silly Sonic looking characters, right? Without drawing those and getting all this attention from people saying, "Well, I mean, look, Chris, we've talked about this. If it wasn't for dating apps and the internet and the hookup culture, women would just basically be in a situation where either they can go the 304 route or date for marriage, right? Because like the culture wouldn't allow something else. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's easy to be a 304 when there's dating apps that can link you to some rich dude in the Middle East that wants you to do things with a camel, right? That's easy to do only because you have access.
Well, and now
Take away that access, you don't get that.
And now
The
you're
paradox
seeing.
that. Oh, my apologies.
Oh, go ahead, Tyra.
The paradox of the internet is that it is an ocean of networking that allows the best and the worst of us to sprout out.
It's true.
The worst being people who are talentless and have no qualifiable or profitable skills other than having the simple desire of being famous.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the Kardashians in a nutshell.
Well,
Exactly.
and they get this inflated ego about that they're bigger than they are. They have this audience that they don't have, but they don't realize
and people feed onto that
Yes.
ego to the point that
They get something out of
generations
it.
afterwards desire that very same mediocrity to attain fame.
Absolutely.
So we keep feeding into this nonsense culture.
So that brings me to our main topic of the evening, which I wanted to talk to Drex about because I could all day go about this myself, but this is an opinion I wanted Drexel to get in on this here.
Mm-hmm.
So we just had one of the biggest announcements in Anime Matsuri for anime in the past 10 years. Ever since Sony was announcing they were purchasing Crunchyroll and merging Funimation, the biggest announcement that Anime Matsuri was making they were making a dubbing studio, and they had Anime Matsuri. It was a big grand thing for Houston. They were having an awesome time, and there's some random idiot on Twitch who's sitting in her corner of the internet making literally millions of dollars a month as the top Twitch streamer, milking said 15-year-olds allowances because they don't validate the money that comes in. So she's literally marketing to the 13 to 18-year-old market, pouring milk on herself in a kiddie pool while wearing barely anything. And
That just sounds extra kid diddly. That's
so
I
you
almost wanna
you
puke.
have this poster child of purity getting on YouTube and making herself look all prim and proper, and going out and saying that she has to talk about something really, really, really important about how this, that, and blah, blah, how the owner of Anime Matsuri did a really bad thing to her, but she's not calling it the G word that you can't say on the internet or else you get deleted. She's not calling it that, but she's really, really heavily insinuating that's what's happening. And then at the end of her big long soapbox thing, where she's like giving out all of these unsubstantiated claims about stuff that allegedly happened in Anime Matsuri with no backing up whatsoever. Then she says at the end of it, "Oh, by the way, I'm starting up my own convention."
Yep. Yep.
I wanted to get your thoughts on that, Drexel. I think you said you were going to research into it. How far did you?
Yeah, so I looked into some of this stuff with Amouranth, right? Because I think Amouranth and Chris Chan are basically the same person in a nutshell. Because you look at what is their goal, right? What is their goal online? To soak up attention and resources, right? So I'm looking at Amouranth. Okay, remember, what does Amouranth have to hide? Amouranth for a long time was basically hiding that she was like, I think, married, if I recall.
Yes.
Yeah, Amouranth is married, right? And you have to do what? What did we just say with Haruma, right? We said that you have to create a persona, right?
Exactly.
An avatar.
Yep.
Amaranth is not that person's real name.
No.
You know, obviously.
Clearly
it's like being a stripper, right? And here comes Ginger. Well, obviously, the girl's name is not Ginger. You create a character like WWE, right?
Exactly.
The Undertaker. I bet you, if you were one of those kids who grew up in the 80s and 90s watching wrestling, and you saw some of these people like Undertaker and $1 Million Man, you fall in love with the character, right? But then when you got to talk to them, you know, off stage, I guess, when they're not in the ring, you'd be like, "Whoa, you're not what I expect." It's like, yeah, dude, they're playing a character.
They're playing a character.
They're playing a character. That's it. Like
To be fair, you would have to consider that in the 90s because I believe in the 80s they were much stricter with kayfabe.
Certain places, yes.
So, yeah.
It's
that
much
included
more.
WWE.
It's
They were-
much more
I mean-
of like character playing nowadays too. Like it's
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
and on Twitch, it's big on Twitch. Like you
Yeah.
get the channels that are just like super happy, fun time, positive at all costs, all the time, never have a bad day. And like if anyone is just like even frowns in the chat, they're banned. Like no, it just you can't exist.
Damn.
Yeah, you can't exist being like negative in their chat at all. And like they're the most depressed people on the face of the planet.
Oh,
But they
absolutely.
go on there and they just try and perform like a monkey for shekels. Meanwhile, you have Amouranth and such and those types of individuals going on there and just like wearing the skimpiest thing. And this is again, guys, this is not like for people out there. This is not knocking people who go out there and sell their bodies. This is knocking people who go out there and sell their bodies and then pretend like they're not going out there and selling their bodies. 'Cause
Yep.
that's exactly what they're doing. But
Whoa.
for Amouranth to go out here and say that, oh, Anime Matsuri is a hotbed of predators that, you know, blah, blah, blah. This is a sexual harassment con.
Well, she's preying
What?
on those herself.
It's like do you realize, Amouranth, that if you make a convention yourself, that is all that's going to be going to your convention is literally everybody that you're calling out in your video, like every single person.
You know, though, one of the things I learned about Amaranth situation is that the timing is very peculiar.
It is
right?
very odd.
As you
Uber
look at-
convenient.
uber convenient. And one of the things that's always funny is that you always, you know, people will say how, like you said, this convention's bad, you know, convention bad.
Convention
but
bad.
You're there to say this for the convention. Like this is what you announce. It'd be like someone saying, you know, I can't stand the Catholic Church, and then like they announce a new pope, and then like that's when you
They're
show up to the
announcing
Vatican to like create your own sideshow,
Yeah,
right?
they're creating their own sect of the Catholic Church. Like the
Yeah,
regular
yeah,
Catholic
it's
Church
like,
is
yeah,
terrible.
come to me, and everyone's just like, wait a minute, like because I mean that's what you're waiting till there is max attention,
Exactly.
this so that you can divert the attention and soak it up for yourself. It's all self-serving.
It is all self-serving.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is my thing with Amouranth though. Anytime these chicks start making these allegations about whatever, and they have no receipts, once again, this is where
Drexel.
a lot of people are.
She has receipts. She's just not going to show them.
Yeah,
She's
of
gonna-
course,
she's gonna
right?
show them
Hey,
at the
that
right
sounds
time.
familiar.
She
Sounds
has
real familiar,
receipts.
right?
She's going to show it at the right time on her own channel, on her own platform.
Yeah. But you gotta pay me.
You have to pay
That's
me
behind
to
the
see it.
paywall,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna give you guys the truth. But you got to subscribe to my OnlyFans, and then you're gonna get the truth. And it's like that doesn't make sense.
No.
Unless what? It makes sense if your goal is to what? Take people's money.
Exactly. She just wants people's money. That's it. You know, she took a
and you know
swipe
what,
at
though?
Nick, eh?
Oh, did she?
She
I
did.
wait, I think someone. No, wait. Someone did send me that. Did someone text me that?
Somebody reposted Nick's OnlyFans, Nick's locals video, and she found the reposted video, and she made some snarky comment about Nick being a misogynist.
Of course.
Nick replied to her, I don't think she's going to reach out to him. The funniest part about this entire thing, though, is that I don't think she's consulted her lawyer at all. I'm sure she has a
not.
lawyer. I don't think she's consulted her lawyer at all about anything she's been saying.
To be fair, I'm assuming that if she did, he would have a lot of freaking napkins to use first.
Well, you know,
Well,
yeah.
But imagine being her though, right?
Imagine being in that situation.
Like, okay, so Amaranth does these things, right? Where you say you're making allegations, whatever. But do you know why she's making allegations ultimately? Because she knows that there's no consequence.
Exactly.
Right?
She said that as much in her comments.
Yep.
In her fucking YouTube comments when she was commenting on that one video. She's like, oh, he's not going to sue because if he does, then everything's going to come out. Everything's fine. I'd be on the fucking phone to my lawyer immediately. Be like,
Yep.
Let's get this.
Well, you guys remember, it's very similar to our girl AH, right? Who was saying, oh, Johnny, no one's going to believe you, right?
Yep.
You're a white man, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, when people don't see why that's a problem, like, dude, if someone is able to just operate with impunity, you're just going to get a bunch of little tyrants, hence Karens, right? Because if you guys remember, like in the Roman Empire, right, you had Caligula and stuff. Caligula literally cucked his officials, right?
Exactly.
As in eating a grand dinner, and he would just bend their wives over right in front of them, right? Like, oh, I'm the emperor, you can't do anything.
Exactly.
Well, eventually that catches up. This Amouranth thing, here's the problem. Chris, what do you think is going to be that chance that she goes full AH and keeps on making allegations and eventually slips up where you get hit with legal action? And you guys saw what happened to Amber, right? Oh my God, I got to pay? Right? Bankruptcy doesn't work. Milk and simps in the past. Like, and that's kind of where Amouranth is kind of painting herself into a box. I don't know if you saw this, but you saw that her revenue went down, right?
Yep.
Now, Chris, if you see the revenue going down as inflation goes up, you can now imagine the guys, right, going, okay, it's between eating this week or giving Amouranth my money, right?
Exactly.
So they realize she's not an essential worker. You see what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, oh, well, that's Amouranth.
Exactly. And it's happening though. But I think she wants the circus. That's the thing.
Oh, absolutely.
She saw the attention the Johnny Depp trial got. I think she wants the circus because she knows that if she goes and gets sued, then she can try and pull an Amber Heard and be like, oh, my simps, please come and save me from the terrible misogynist people.
And they will.
And they will. And they'll throw money at her. They'll throw money at her.
Now, I got to say this about the
Gotta
Amouranths
love
of the world.
weaponizing the simps.
Well, here's the thing, though. I'm sitting there looking at my notes, right? And I'm going to tell you the biggest thing I have with Amouranth is that she represents the most dangerous kind of hypocrisy, which is there's no self-awareness, right? Because sometimes a person can be hypocritical and be like, yeah, I know what I'm doing is wrong, and I know I'm a fraud, but I'm here to get my money.
Exactly. They just own
Hubris
it.
seldom allows
Just
a
own it.
person to see their mistakes
Like,
in the first place.
that's the thing I don't get. It's like, why are you trying to like pretend that you're not what you are? Like, she literally, like, if she would have just been sitting in a kiddie pool in a bikini covered in honey, she would have
Yep.
had much more of a chance of getting her point across than like when she was doing. She like pushed her tits up. She sat there like a pretty little schoolgirl, but she didn't do like any of her regular stuff. You look at her video list that week, not even the rest of them. That week, she had her ass in her camera. She had her like tits showing on the
Of
camera.
course.
All this sort of stuff. Like, oh, look at this. All of her videos, like 500,000, 1 million views, 700,000 views. Her view when she's talking about Anime Matsuri, 5,000 views.
Yep.
And she's out here saying, "Oh my platform is bigger than yours. Like I have a greater view.
Your views are there
Yeah.
because of a reason, Amouranth.
Exactly.
You know what it reminds me of? She has that lack of self-awareness that like porn stars have, where they think that like people actually care about what they have to say. Or no, like the reason why you have X amount of fans is because they want some free content, right? They want to just get some crumbs from the spicy table. So I'm looking at the things that Amouranth is doing. The G4 incident, right? I think that really speaks volumes because remember. According to Amouranth, right, it's all misogyny and blah, 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 right? Okay, then what do you call being oogled at on G4? You knew what you were doing.
Exactly.
You know who the audience is. See, they're trying to play both sides, and that's my issue. I think that's a lot of people's issue with Amouranth. And this, it goes back to what I said. This is what happens when you get internet famous.
Yeah,
You didn't deal with the real world with real consequences.
exactly. And like I'd be interested to see where she goes with this, because this isn't just like a one-off thing. She's been going and name searching herself on YouTube, and she's been going to small streamers and trying to like throw her dick on the table and be like, well, I'm bigger than you, so my opinion matters more, and I can just talk about whatever I want. She's at a point where she feels like she can get sued and she's like invincible. And that's dangerous because she's got a lot more to lose.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. What she doesn't understand is that unlike the Depp trial, anyone who goes after Amouranth now has less than she does, right?
Exactly.
People with more just don't. That's just not how the world works.
Yeah.
I have got to get a real chair one of these days. So that's my big issue with her, right? Is that, so when the Amaranths of the world come on, and they want to, like you said, they're shaking their ass, they're showing it all, and then they flip around later, and this is the reason why I think people like her are so dangerous, is because Cress, the chameleon aspect, right? Mm-hmm. Amaranth was getting paid, right? Getting all the money, all the attention that was for free. Mm-hmm. For being an ethot, right?
Exactly.
Congrats.
For being a pretend internet girlfriend.
Correct. And then what happens, right? When that gig is up, what does she do next? Okay, now I'm gonna go and be like, I'm the trad con, right? Mm-hmm. Anything can change at any time, right? Chris, you talked about this with Quentin Flynn. These people in Vic Mignogna, these people will flip on you in a heartbeat.
Absolutely,
right?
They will. 100%.
So Amouranth, anyone out there who's helping Amouranth, right? And this includes even her simps. If you guys think she won't flip on you at any time and be like, who's to say that? Like, what if online harassment becomes a thing? Allegedly, it's not even real harassment. What if someone says the new law is the person that you're accusing, you have a direct line of communication? Who's to say someone like Amouranth wouldn't flip and extort these people, right?
Exactly.
Like, I'll ban you unless you do what I tell you, right?
Well, she's literally towing the line of blackmail right now.
Yep.
Oh, he's not going to sue me. I'm gonna release everything. Well, just release everything. If you're actually that concerned about people's safety, which she spent a whole 9 minutes talking about. How she was so concerned about people's safety in her hometown, and so she's making her own convention. Blah blah blah. Oh, I'm so concerned about the young women and the role model, like how it's going to affect them. Well, first of all, if you want to be a role model for young women that are out there getting quote unquote sexually harassed, maybe you shouldn't sit in a kiddie pool of milk and
always exposing themselves. Always exposing, but like
always exposed.
It's that plausible deniability, right? And when you start doing that, like, no one can take you seriously. And that's my issue with Amouranth. Amouranth can go buy more gas stations, right? She can go make all the money off Sims. But it's like, no, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, I think people always have that sense of pride where, like, they want respect, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And this is what you see with the spicy content creators, right? I want a man to love me for me and blah, blah, I shouldn't be hated by society. It's like, no, your actions have consequences.
Exactly.
Right? And that's my big issue with people like Amouranth is that, like, okay, you guys heard about, Shakira may or may not have been involved in that fraud scheme, right?
Oh, boy.
Who's to say that the Amaranths of the world won't do something similar, right? Because Chris, if your whole thing is grifting to get attention and money, won't you just step on anybody in order to get more of that?
Absolutely.
You step on them. Oh, yeah, what can you do to me? Right? Because average Joe doesn't have the money to fight it out in court, right?
Right.
And you saw this with the Depp trial. When people were sitting there going, yeah, Johnny is a win for men, everybody was like, bro, first of all, you're not world famous like Johnny Depp. And do you have the money, right?
Exactly.
The money to go after these cases. Nick and I have talked about this. These cases cost lots of money.
They do. They cost a lot.
Being an ethot, what's that going to do for you, right? For your finances.
JCF data with the $20 super chat. I want a fake ethot online girlfriend too, not Evening Chris and Drex. Screw you, Harima. You don't get a hello.
I know, right? I'm like, God damn, they're leaving H out of the fun over here.
Poor Harima. But no, like you're 100%.
That's all good. I don't need no ethos. I don't need people.
She's literally making $1 million a month, like millions of dollars
as she should
in revenue, as she should. But
milk the Simps.
Own it. You found a business model that works for you. Why are you going out there saying that all of a sudden, like, you're turning around and saying, "Oh, men should not objectify women, but unless they're paying me." How can you?
Well, you know I'll take one of the
seriously?
biggest hypocrisies. She's one of those, like, sex work is real work kind of people.
Yeah.
And yet, okay, so selling yourself is strong, right? That's cool. That's awesome. And it's legal. But yet the John, which in this case is the man, right? If he wants to buy those services, that's not empowering. That's illegal. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's lining her pockets. That's her
that doesn't make sense. But it does when you're in this crazy clown world, right?
GCF,
I think the chick is
$10
done.
super chat. Oops, sorry, Harama. Evening.
Oh, okay. All right, fine, I guess. Hello, good evening.
Thank you
No,
for that.
but when it comes to types like Amouranth, I'm going to say that it just all goes back to being overly self-righteous. It's
Absolutely.
the idea that they can literally be justified in their actions and see themselves as virtuous, no matter if the very activity that they do is reprehensible.
Well, it's the same thing that Drex was talking about before. It's very similar to the Chris Chan situation, right? Like, they've built up this reality for themselves where they can do no wrong, they can say no wrong. This is 100%. They are the main character in that story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so crazy.
So sad. It's so sad. Well, I'll tell you one of the most disturbing things about, like, how this all goes down, right? Is, you guys remember when Amouranth was getting in trouble? I think she had like a horse head on and she was like doing something weird on camera.
Yeah, I mean, she's done quite a bit to get in trouble.
Jesus Christ, man.
But here's the thing though, she always gets to come back because she's a moneymaker. So
Exactly.
I think her story actually kind of goes into one of the dark sides of capitalism, right?
Yep,
like
absolutely.
one of the downsides is you can get a cancel culture even with a capitalist society because people are like, oh yeah, Crest, you said a bad word, you're banned. Oh, Harama, you're banned. Drex is banned. And then all of a sudden, someone comes in and, like, was it PewDiePie? They would have to call him an ableist or something.
Oh,
Call
I
him
don't
an
even-
ableist, a racist, a Nazi.
PewDiePie said something as PewDiePie normally does, and people took it the wrong way, and
Yep.
they went and called him everything, blah blah blah.
Whatever
Again,
sticks.
They tried
Whatever
to cancel
sticks.
him again
Yep.
for the umpteenth time. Like the
But
exactly.
my thing
Hey,
is this:
Sam Flynn's
what
in
do
the
you
chat.
expect?
Hey Sam. Sam saying, isn't it odd how she accuses him of the G word? I can't say that word on YouTube, so right after she hates, right after the event she hates was successful and announces that she wants to run her own event. Exactly what we're talking about. The timing is extremely curious, and she doesn't care. She's had millions of dollars a month for years. If she wanted to run her own convention to combat the evils of Anime Matsuri and the evils of John that runs Anime Matsuri, then she could have done it years ago. Like years ago. I'm pretty sure what happened
absolutely.
here. I don't
Give me
have
one
any,
second. I'm about to turn on my AC.
Yeah, go for it.
At least you have an AC. I just have a tiny little fan.
I don't have any proof of this, so just take this as it is. I have a feeling that Amouranth is being paid by the people who actually want to run the convention to get her to promote it. And I think she has nothing to do with it outside of name alone. That would be my guess. Because
That actually sounds very familiar because I think somebody else actually tried doing that like 2 years ago.
yes.
I think it was something called Tamacon or something
Terracon?
like that. Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
That.
Yes,
Where
that's exactly
the YouTuber there did the exact same thing. She just wanted to have her own convention after she fucked up with VidCon.
Yeah.
And it ended up being one of the worst fucking things that ever happened for YouTubers.
Yeah, basically, you'll have a predatory company or group that approaches that approaches a struggling person or a person that had a controversy or a falling out, right? It would be as if I went to Vic Mignogna, right, when everything came down, when everything went down to Vic, and be like, hey Vic, I'm gonna make a convention. And I'm going to put your face on the convention, and we're going to have it like right now. Right? And we're going to call it VicCon. And I don't want you to. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is put your picture on it. That's it. That's all you have to do, and you'll get like X amount of money off of it. Blah blah blah. This is what these companies do. Like, we're not talking about Bubba Fest. We're not talking about Anime Matsuri, who are actual conventions that want to go in and actually make this work. These are cash grab companies that come in and try to take as much money off of and milk the controversy for as much as they can, and then dip the fuck out. I have a feeling that's probably what this is with Amouranth, is that this company came in and sweet talked her and said, "Oh, we have this great deal for you. It's like this Anime Matsuri. We've been trying to get Anime Matsuri out of town, blah blah blah, and this person's a terrible person, and blah 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 blah." So they have like no experience running conventions. Like, these people that are approaching, if it is somebody approaching Amouranth, or heaven forbid if it's Amouranth herself, I don't think she's that stupid. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt, but I could be wrong on that one. But I would believe it's people that are a competing convention with Anime Matsuri that see this as an opportunity to be like, "Oh, I know Amouranth had bad blood with the owner. I'm going to approach Amouranth." Like, it's the Mars Girl situation, right? It's the, I know a person who knows a person. I'm going to have them do my dirty work for me. We see it all the time. It's like most of Kick Vic's modus operandi. It's that fat lard ham on Twitter that goes and says, well, I'm super big in the business, and I'm gonna go talk to Star Wars or Star Trek conventions and get Vic banned from Star Trek conventions, and then it happens, and it's like, oh, I didn't actually do anything. I just had a friend of mine that actually knows people. Like, yeah, you don't know anything. Shut up.
Because
Chris. Go ahead, Harma.
Oh, I was just gonna say, because it's so easy now. At this point, the way that the damage has been done, now it's no longer necessary for any of them to actually lift a finger.
Exactly.
Because they now see that others will be more than happy to do it for them at their own accord.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, that's the danger, I believe, of the let's call it the fandom, right? Like when you're simps. So this kind of goes back to what Harma kind of alluded to, which is the danger of Amouranth is similar to the danger of like the Kardashians, which is it's who they inspire. Because Chris, watch this. Okay, if a young boy is growing up, he looks at the guys that are older than him that he wishes to emulate, right? And it's usually for fortune and fame, right? That's because, let's face it, most boys when they grow up are like, hey, I would love to be Wayne Gretzky or Michael Jordan or whoever, right? Because they have fortune, fame, influence, and all that, right?
Have it all.
When it comes to girls, think about how girls got to be, this far gone, right? Well, what did they grow up with? They grew up wanting to be who? The modern girl wants to be Cardi B. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She wants to be Megan Thee Stallion. And guess what? They want to be Amaranth.
Yes, they do.
To make $1 million a month? Chris, watch this. Let's be honest.
For doing what? For doing nothing?
For doing what? Look, go like this.
To be fair,
the microphone.
Exactly.
The
Lick a
male
microphone.
equivalent of that is the gamer, the game streamer, to be
exact.
exact.
True. You're right.
When we have the way the way we try to raise our children is that you want to teach them the value of hard work so that they can build up and essentially succeed on their own merits. The problem is that we have so many success stories of people with absolutely no talent and no ability to essentially contribute on a serious level to society, that we now have children that desire to be just as mediocre and expect a huge return in profit.
Well, you know how all this started, Drex. I want to just slip this in here real quick. You know how all this started? It wasn't Amouranth that started this. There was a video done by I don't remember the hell the dude is. He's not a furry, but he wears like a fursuit head on YouTube. I think it's some black dude.
Probably Sonic Fox.
It's not Sonic Fox, because Sonic Fox is actually a furry. There's another there's another dude who pretends like it's his persona. It's like his gimmick that he wears a furry head when he does this. But he made a video about Anime Matsuri, I think last year, or like a year or two ago, whenever they had the last Anime Matsuri. he made a video calling out Anime Matsuri about this, that, and whatever else. And Amouranth referenced and launched off of that video this year, like a year or two later. That's what started it. And so I'm pretty sure if it ever comes down to like a lawsuit, she can always point back. It's like, well, I was just going off by what this video said, because she was applauding that guy for making that video, and she was referencing it all the time.
Well, Chris, here's the thing: the fact that people can start kind of, like you said, shifting allegiances, I think is something that's very disturbing with all this, right?
Yes.
Because I saw this happen with, I talked to Mama Vic about this. And it's very disturbing when you see people like just shifting, like, 1 minute they're against this person, then they're with,
like
against
Morgan
that
Berry.
person with you. Yeah, it's weird to me. When I see
we didn't
people
know we
always
were
kind of
working with
flipping.
Vic. He was just the ADR director. We didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
They never know, right? Like,
They
literally,
never
they
know.
never know.
Yeah, Vic's walking
thing
around with the
I
masked
did try
magician.
I did try to say I should try. Sorry, I did try to see it their way for a little bit. At least tried to see on the middle, in the middle, because
Oh hell no.
considering that this is a
Not
very
anymore.
small company and they're just starting and they've only had 2 properties to work on and there were just movies.
Exactly.
You could argue that they were seeing that something that was just starting and may not necessarily have the potential to grow bigger, because it's a brand new business and we all know how poor businesses can go under, especially when you have a monopoly as large as freaking
Well, what I will say,
No.
Harima, from what I know from speaking to the voice
No,
actors that I've spoken to,
I read what you said.
From what I've talked to of the people in the industry, for the conversations that I can't share, which I would I'd write a fucking book, but from the conversations that I can't share from people in the voice acting industry, they have to play the game. They have to come out and act like, oh, it was I did it against my will. I can't. I had a gun to my head the entire time. I'm just a freelancer. I didn't know. They have to do that, because if they don't do that, then you have the Monicas of the world, the Chris Sabatts of the world, the Sean Schemmels of the world, making their life miserable and
Kiss
blacklisting
the
them.
ring or you'll be 6 feet
Oh, yeah.
under.
Well, if you notice, though, they gain more power by the day. Because, like
Exactly.
you said, you don't stop them. Like, these people, you can't work it out. You can't bargain a reason with these people.
Well, that's why I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the of this podcast is, if you believe that, if you enjoy the product, if you enjoy if you enjoy what they what Anime Matsuri has to offer, support it so that they can grow their company and compete with this juggernaut that is Crunchyroll. That's the only way it's going to happen, because otherwise it's eventually going to fizzle and we'll be back to square one with Sony dominating everything again.
Ugh.
And I think at this point we can all agree that the people are starting to grow very tired of this stagnant force that is Crunchyroll.
Well, and Sony's going out and snapping up everything that they possibly can to freeze out Anime Matsuri, not realizing that Anime Matsuri is not looking to do things on the orthodox way. They're looking to burn their own way, because they know they have people working for them, they have people working under them that know what this industry and how rotted out and like festering it is right now. And it's just like there's one group, whether it's management, whether it's what have you, there's a group of individuals that are dictating to the entire industry that if they don't kiss the ring, then they don't get to eat. And Sony is going to find out very quickly that if now that one person has stood up, they're gonna start asking, like, where's Spartacus? Everyone's gonna start calling themselves Spartacus.
That's what I was about to make.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it doesn't follow what happened to the actual Spartacus.
Right? Yeah, once
Everyone's
you're
gonna start
captured,
standing.
yeah.
So
Well, this is the thing though.
yes,
Revenue. TFM used to always say the economics will always win, right?
absolutely.
It doesn't ever matter what the current climate is, right? Because whoever's going to get the most money is going to be where the new allegiance will follow.
Absolutely.
So it's like
yes.
do you guys remember when the Depp trial first happened? Before we finally got to hear Amber's lies, a lot of people were pro Amber because they truly
were.
believed that something happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Indeed.
so think about it though. As Me Too starts to take this downward spiral in terms of credibility, it became cool to hate on Amber. And then the people who just were ragging on Johnny now do what? They flip because it's socially acceptable.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. It's
Socially
accepted to support the man now in that situation.
Yep.
So now they can do it.
Yeah, well, you saw the TikTok trends, right? People roasting Amber and all of her craziness.
Not just that. Look at all the people that after the verdict happened, all of the people in Hollywood that started following Johnny Depp again.
Yep. Suddenly, right?
Suddenly, instantly. It was okay for them to do that again. It was like when Chris Rock got slapped on live television. People had to people had to wait to react to see.
Yep.
Oh, who do we support in this situation?
Yeah. Okay. Did Will stand by his woman? Right.
No.
Did he protect her honor? Blah blah blah. And then when that narrative didn't work, then it became something else. And then once people basically said, "We crown Chris Rock the good guy,"
Yeah.
everyone was like, "Oh, Will Smith is terrible."
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
You see his apology, by the way, his official apology.
No, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh my god, it is so fucking pathetic.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Good on Chris Rock for not taking it either.
Surprised. It's just even if you were expecting it to be pathetic, it still disappoints.
Damn. I need to look this up.
That's how pathetic it is.
Will Smith apology. I'll see what pops up.
Good on Chris Rock for not taking it either.
Yeah, because Chris Rock ain't having it. Chris Rock's mom apparently ain't having it. Apparently Jada ain't having it, surprisingly.
No, they ain't having it. So this entire situation that we find ourselves in. It's so funny because people are people that were on the side against opposing Anime Matsuri. They were so desperate for anything, right? They were so desperate to latch on anything like the parasites they are. Mm-hmm. They latched on, and they were sucking the milk from the tit of Amouranth, and they're like, "Yes, this is great." Not realizing Amouranth doesn't give a shit about any of these people.
None. Who's the one that mocked him? That was Invader V, right?
I think so.
She was the one that made that video mocking her little pay piggies.
Yeah. Oh my god.
How do you even?
There's no loyalty among them.
It's just it's painful sometimes. Even the term "pay piggy."
I love that term. It's so hilarious. It is so funny.
It just reminds me of Spider Pig from The Simpsons.
Well, it's just I guess here's my thing, Chris. Let me ask you this: do you think it's just because guys got that lonely? They just need any female validation?
I think it's easier. It's easier than I'm sure these guys do nothing but work all the time, which is why they have so much money, and they have absolutely no social skills. So it's easier for them to go on Twitch and pay a woman $500 for her to smile and say his name than it is for him to go out and try to do the song and dance and potentially get a Me Too story by taking somebody out for dinner.
Or apparently $100 for a fucking bottle of farts.
No, it's they have on Twitch they have bidding wars to have their name written on their bodies.
No, I get that, but it's now she's selling bottles of fucking farts, and these guys actually buy it.
Yeah, of course
And
they
now let's understand. I get it. You know, you do the hustle. That's fine. And she's making the money for it. Great. I'm just, horrified at the guys, the simps who like. Where is your fucking dignity?
No, there is none. I
none.
talked to Crest about this. Crest, you know that these people, they have none.
They have zero.
There is.
dignity.
It's literally zero. It's not like no. They have a line. There is no line, bro.
No.
There's because the idea of dignity is that like even if you're a corrupted person, there's a certain line where you're like, whoa, no, don't cross this line, right?
Yes.
But they've removed that.
Did it ever exist with them at this point?
Well,
That's my question.
Sam
Did it ever actually exist?
Sam in the chat saying it's really sad that men don't feel comfortable trying to take women to court anymore, thanks to these evil people who are making using men's vulnerability against them. Sam, this Amouranth literally came out in chats in like somebody's comment section that was covering this entire situation. She literally came out and said, "Oh, John's not going to take me to court because everything's going to come out."
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to have a legal system that is, in theory, supposed to
this is
balance out and protect people.
In theory.
It's quite another to weaponize the legal system to your benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we are right now. That was the biggest issue when it came to something like the Me Too movement. It was people weaponizing the legal system to their advantage and basically underhanding what used to be the standard to pursue and convict such heinous accusations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we went from evidence to trust and believe, right? That's where we're at.
That was
now.
the goal. Was to
trust and
eliminate.
believe.
It was to eliminate logic and facts and reality, and substitute it with emotion and ambiguity. That's what it's been.
Yep.
Because you can't have anyone follow a guideline that is malleable, that changes whenever someone feels like
it's always changing, right?
Because that's how you keep the power over them, right? That's one thing. So guys, I'm in the unique. I can see you, Drexel.
That's how we go from a violent attack on a person that fortunately gets recorded at the very least, or there's bruises and photos, that something that could be seen, to literally declaring a hug is somehow SA.
Well, here's the thing. I'm in the unique situation out of the three of us here, right? Because I started my life as a different gender than I outwardly am now, and so growing up.
Excuse me.
I know.
How dare
it's crazy
you?
It's crazy that I'm trans. It's insane. So growing up in a male archetype, right? Like I was grown up to be a male, blah blah blah. That was different. When I transitioned, I noticed a stark difference between the way that men are treated and the way that women are treated. Women, like men, have a dominance over each other, over feats of skill, feats of intelligence, feats of strength, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Women have a dominance over each other, over an ambiguous power struggle of like constantly changing, of like it's this like the matriarchy is always changing the rules so that you're always in debt to somebody somehow, and you can never get out of that debt. And it's such a weird thing because like unless you've been on both sides of the fence, you don't see it. And it's like you think it's the same all across the board, but it's not though. Women don't compete in feats of skill or strength or beauty or intelligence. They always try to
cunning.
It's cunning. It's always tried to one up or pull the rug out from under. It's the Mean Girls situation, right? It's literally that's exactly what it is.
And it destroyed Lindsay Lohan as a result.
And because like it's you literally when you apply that tacit to men Men can't compete because men approach it logically. And when
Yep.
you approach that logically, it doesn't make fucking sense. Because it's like
No, it never does.
it's like how can you make a set of rules and then say that then once I follow those set of rules, you say that's not the rules. It's like, but I followed the rules. But no, the rules retroactively changed because I felt like they changed. That's what.
Yeah,
we're
I
doing.
felt.
I
not
felt.
not I think or I believe, right? Everything became I felt.
Exactly.
It's
That was-
basically
that was a
Darth
stark
Vader. I have
difference.
altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
You're right? Yeah.
And they literally Darth Vader it.
It literally is like in all of in like everybody else on the outside is basically just Lando there. Like, goddamn, I'm so screwed. That just needs to be like a meme or something or a GIF. But yeah, Chris, I'm about to get out of here. Is there anything last things you want to say?
I think if there's
Love to
anything
go.
that we missed that we didn't touch on that you wanted to jump in.
Oh,
that
nothing I
you
can
wanted
think
to
of. Because yeah, like I said, I'm zombified for now, but I will come back when
For sure.
when I'm on my normal work week, because we'll have to do a show. And it's a pleasure to meet you. I don't know if we've ever communicated before.
I
No,
appreciate
we
it.
haven't. And I've always wanted to, and it's great meeting you, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's a
I-
pleasure, man.
And
yeah,
thanks for the follow, by the way. Your sacrifice honors me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen so much crazy stuff, and I truly believe that the way that to solve this without a total collapse is just allow basically you empower everybody to have the same level of power. Chris, I sent you that video from Brazil, right?
Yes.
Where now they're just running over people who try to rob people. Like you have a literal license
Oh,
to
yes.
kill.
Yeah.
Like
No, it's the
how
motorcycle.
motorcycles. When you see
will
that,
stop
like
shit immediately.
it will like it'll take like 3 months for people to be like, yeah, we don't do that no more.
Exactly.
We gotta do something else because I mean all your criminals are gonna be like either paralyzed, broke up, or dead.
Yeah.
Right? So not long on that, man. But yeah, it's a pleasure to meet both of you. Chris, thanks for having me on.
Thanks
and
for-
everybody,
thanks
I
for
will
hanging out,
see
Drex.
you guys again when I'm, like I said, normal, not
For
a damn
sure.
zombie from working all day every day. But yeah, I'll
Thank you so
definitely
much
come
for your
back.
time.
See
Hey,
you, Drex. Oh,
some
say
to
hi Nick
Amouranth.
for me.
Oh, say it again.
I said, say hi to Nick for me.
Oh, I will. I'll actually see him. Maybe next week. Maybe I think I'll have to hit him up. I'll definitely do that. But thanks again, everybody. Peace out.
Peace out, Drex. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Peace.
Indeed.
Always welcome. All right, Herma. Oh boy, what a show! What a show!
Indeed.
My goodness. I'm sorry,
man.
Exia. This one's a closed one. Harama's in here because Harama pays us a shekel every month for the great honor
You must
of joining
offer
us.
you must
must
offer,
offer
a,
a
tribute
shrubbery.
to the one and only Crumb.
When we have our call-in shows, I'll be more than happy to have people on the show. But I usually have the interviews and the stuff like that closed off for public, unless you're a Supreme Canucklehead on the Patreon and paying us a shrubbery a month. You can join. But my goodness.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He's been actually rather close to the situation at hand, and he really wanted to join along. It's just like I don't have the power to.
No,
get
for
him
sure.
on,
And like this
but-
will not be like this won't be the last we could talk about this either. Like let's make that perfectly clear. Like I do have to coordinate with Ken, because Ken joined me for the Ron Toy tapes, and
Yeah.
so we were planning for a very long time to do a run through and a commentary of the Ron Toy interviews, which is going to take a long time. It's going to take a while to go through them, but. That's going to take some time to coordinate. So this topic is not necessarily a closed topic. So I didn't
expect it.
I can get you on here, Harama, and we can get Exia on us and to talk about this again at a future time. That's no problem. So don't think that this is the end of, because I know this isn't the end of the Amouranth saga. Believe you me, I have a pretty good spidey sense of these types of things. I have a feeling that this is going to keep going. I have a feeling this is not the last we have heard. So, yeah, we're going to be
Especially with who we're dealing with, it's almost likely that it's going to be a unionized effort.
absolutely. You have stuff on the Funimation things. I'd be happy to look over it, and we could talk about that, and we'll get it because this show is pretty much wrapped up at this point, nice in a bow, because we're about the hour 40 mark. Used to work for Funimation. Interesting. Well, I will be happy to talk to you. Because then we can get some research stuff, and then I can make some jokes. I can prepare some jokes that I want to have for the show. I don't actually script anything, guys. I'm kidding. Everything is off the cuff here. So
what? What's this paper that I'm holding?
I normally stream on Saturdays, yes. So we again, we could do it on Saturdays, or we could do it on like a Friday or something, or afternoon, whichever works better for you. Because we're gonna have to do a series of them, because we had like 12 hours of streams to go through, which is gonna be interesting. But we'll definitely voice actor that was fired and all. Oh, really? Well, I think that deserves its own topic, Exia. I don't wanna shoehorn you in on another topic when I think that deserves its own. So we'll definitely be in contact. So send me a message, and we can chat about that, and we can set up a time for it. Because I think I can't believe that we talked that long, Ken. That was insane. But keep an eye out.
Well, you could have joined us, Ken.
Exactly. Keep in contact with me about that. We'll set it all up. And Exia, send me a message and we'll talk about that, and we'll set up a time to get your topic in here too, and we'll get everybody in here, and we'll break this down, because I don't think the Funimation saga is over yet, and we have some stuff to talk about for that. So we'll be very interested to hear your experience in that situation. And
easy, Exia. Don't need to spill the beans about everything now. Give the audience a little bit to think on, give them a little bit of mystery. It's kind of the point here.
Yeah, you gotta build it up. You gotta fluff up the audience a little bit for the grand finale, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, no problem, Ken. I understand you've been super busy, and you've been kind of crazy. So I didn't wanna keep poking you about it. I'm more than happy to do the series anytime. So like I usually go topics week to week. If nothing comes up, then I don't usually do something. But no, we can definitely set out. I think if we do 2-hour time blocks, that'll be like a nice little
report
square.
The Boku no Pico Phantom.
We'll get you in here. I know someone that's doing a fan dub, actually. I can always poke you. Damn right.
Fucking Christ.
Oh my god. Well, Harima, considering we're at the end of our stream here, I want to keep this nice and simple. It's rare that we have a Drexel stream that doesn't go less than 6 hours. So
hey, this is great, because I still have to get up in the morning. I gotta drive my friend to C2E2.
Hey, there you go. Was there anything that we wanted to touch on that you didn't get in?
No, none at all. With the one exception of come listen to me if you wanna hear about pop culture news and all that stuff.
There you go.
Come listen to us on the Angry War Gamer, where me and my two friends Jay and Drew we discuss pop culture news and games and stuff. We don't do live shows, but feel free to hear us on Podbean.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Harima, for joining, and thanks again to Drexel for slipping in here right after work and making it a tough swap over day for him. But appreciate his time today. I wanted to talk about this topic right away, and I wanted to get his opinion on it. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to see if Amouranth finds my video and comments on it. We'll see. I doubt it, but Amouranth, if you're watching, hi. My DMs are open. You can send me an email anytime, sweetheart. With all of the evidence, I'll extend to you like I do anybody else on the show. If you have evidence of your whatever it is that you're accusing of, I would be happy to go over it with you. I'd happy to have you on the show and talk about it. I understand that you really don't want to talk about it because you don't want to take away from your convention. That's why you just made an announcement after you brought up all this stuff and then refused to say anything about it. But yeah, anyway, before we get too far into that, feel free. So if anybody out there is watching the show, if you have a problem with me, feel free to reach out. I will have you on the show. I'll give you your 2 hours or however much it is. I gave Ron Toye 12 hours to talk, guys. At this point, I don't think anyone can say that I'm not a fair host. I don't think anybody at all can say I'm not a fair host. So,
agreed.
So thank you, Harima, for joining today. Appreciate it. Everybody out there for watching
it's a
too.
pleasure.
You guys are absolutely amazing for hanging out and watching. Superstars that we have here. So appreciate all of you. We will see you guys next time, hopefully next week. We'll see. We're going to be replaying this show on Saturday for those of you who don't miss it. For people in the future on Saturday, thank you guys for watching. Apologies we couldn't be live this week, but Drexel has to work. So this is the time we had to fix it in. So until next time, guys, keep your stick on the ice.